During the construction of the world's deepest diving pool in Dubai, when a 45-meter tunnel was being dug into the ground, then an unusual problem troubled the engineering team. It was discovered that in Poland, there is a diving pool called Deep Spot, which is open and has a depth of only 45 meters. Now it is clear that if Dubai wants the world record for the deepest pool, they need to. Although the project aims to increase its depth from 45 meters to 60 meters, this task presents significant challenges, making it just as difficult to perform as it might initially appear easy. Experts have calculated that if the pool's depth is increased to 60 meters, then groundwater pressure has the capability to effortlessly push it upwards. This phenomenon is similar to what happens when a fully filled water bottle is submerged and placed into a pond, causing it to rise. The bottle will continue to stay on the pond surface because, as a result of the buoyancy force, the water in the pond exerts an upward push from the bottom, keeping it afloat, meaning the entire pool could rise above the ground at any time, shattering Dubai's dream of building the deepest pool at this point in the construction. But then an idea saved everything. When it comes to setting world records, the first name that comes to mind is Dubai's Atmani, along with 425 Guinness World Records in Dubai. It's still number one across the entire Middle East, and it feels like the rulers of Dubai do not want to lose this number at any cost. They do not want to lose it. Another addition has been added to this world record library. At the request of Dubai's Prince Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the innovative underwater facility was conceived, and the world now recognizes it as Deep Dive Dubai, attracting divers from around the globe. Deep Dive Dubai is not just a pool but a bizarre and intriguing world with a depth of 197 feet or 60 meters. With this extraordinary depth, it is now considered to be the deepest pool in the world, containing approximately 14 million liters of water. It is just as much fluid as is typically found in 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools or as widely used daily by approximately 90,000 individuals in the span of a single day. This elaborate swimming pool is intricately themed like a detailed sunken city, where skilled divers enjoy an immersive experience that was previously hard to even imagine before. With NASA's assistance, a system has been created to keep the pool water clean, which every 6 hours, consistently reliable, it thoroughly cleans the entire 14 million liters of water, whether the outside temperature is 50 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees. The pool water is always meticulously maintained at 30 degrees Celsius to guarantee maximum comfort for divers. However, here at Deep Dives, conditions vary slightly. More interested in its construction techniques than contours, because the engineering community believes that Dubai's deepest pool is no less than the marvel of any engineering. During the construction of Deep Dive Dubai, engineers faced, without wasting any time in addressing various difficulties, let's take a detailed look at each of them. The first major challenge we faced was effective planning and design. Crown Prince Sheikh Hamdan expressed his strong desire for a unique and meaningful design that could effectively reflect a vivid glimpse of Dubai's deep-rooted cultural values. Before oil and tourism, pearl diving was a major occupation in Dubai. Professional divers dove into the open sea without scuba gear. They diligently collected seashells to extract and subsequently sell beautiful pearls. A large part of Dubai's economy was previously highly dependent on pearl diving. Keeping this idea in mind, Deep Dive was given the shape of a seashell, a shell that from afar looks like a gracefully curved marine structure, seamlessly combining aesthetic appeal with functional design elements. An open shell lies on the expansive seashore, revealing its intricate and captivating outer facade for all to see. Now the decision was how to build the world's deepest diving pool inside it. Architects from around the world and engineers were recruited who could provide realistic ideas for this project. The simplest way was to have a strong building 45 meters high. It would be constructed and filled with water, but there was an issue with this idea. The pool would be built 45 meters deep, yet the world could not support such a grand structure. The condition for construction is that the pool should not be above ground but built below it. Secondly, Dubai is a very hot city. In the event that the pool is constructed above ground within a building, the surrounding environmental heat could thoroughly envelop the pool's entire atmosphere. The Crown Prince of Dubai wanted to have a pool that not only has a distinctive design but also has a depth that the world would talk about. Thus, it was decided that the world's deepest diving pool would be excavated underground with a shaft in the ground. From this point forward, the structure would be oriented vertically instead of horizontally, and this significant change marked the beginning of a new challenge. And that was the excavation engineering team's most significant and challenging task, to create such a shaft. The newly constructed shaft was planned to have an impressive width measuring 65 feet and a substantial depth reaching 147 feet. Not only was it necessary to excavate this shaft, but also to erect a wall on its border which would prevent the shaft from collapsing. In engineering terms, this wall is called a diaphragm wall. A specialized excavator was procured to carry out this work. With the help of the machine, a vertical shaft as tall as a pillar was excavated to a depth of 147 feet. Then, a steel cage was inserted and filled with concrete. Using the same method, the entire diaphragm wall was constructed in small chunks. This entire process took more than 2 months. After that, the excavation work began. The original plan was to carefully excavate the area in consistent 5-meter increments, extending the process up to 45 meters below where the diaphragm wall exists. However, once they had excavated the initial 5 meters, an entirely new and significant challenge awaited them: managing the persistent groundwater. After constructing the diaphragm wall, when excavation work began, after 8 meters, water started coming out from beneath the ground. Since the diaphragm wall was constructed in separate segments, small gaps were present within the structure as a result. And the groundwater easily flowed out from these gaps and began to accumulate in the middle of the tunnel. It was not possible to continue the excavation work without doing so. Pumps were installed to address this issue, which continuously removed water. And along with that, the excavation work continued. Excavation proceeded for the next 2 years, and during this entire period, the pumps also kept running continuously. A total of 45,000 tons of soil, sand and stone debris was removed. After excavation, when the pumps were turned off, water started filling the tunnel again. In this situation, it was necessary to first make the diaphragm wall properly waterproofed. During the next several months, the diaphragm wall was waterproofed. After turning off the water pumps, efforts continued to halt groundwater using the diaphragm wall, tunnel excavation, and ongoing measures to stop the water. It took more than a total of 3 years. Now the engineering team was already quite late. Every single day was incredibly precious, but during this challenging period, a new and unexpected problem arose in the detailed construction process of the deep dive project, a significant change in design. When the diaphragm wall was also completed, excavation was done and groundwater was managed. At that moment, news came that near Warsaw, the capital of Poland, a deep diving pool named Deep Spot, it has been officially opened and its maximum depth is only 45 meters or 147 feet. This news struck the entire deep dive project team like lightning because all the effort they had put in so far, we had undertaken it solely to set a record. Normally, in all projects of this kind, most of the details are kept confidential, and something similar happened in this case. When the Crown Prince of Dubai learned about it, he requested, "We are considering further increasing the depth of the deep dive so that a world record could still be easily set." However, there was a significant and unexpected problem that arose during the meticulous planning phase. Groundwater was present just 8 meters below the surface, and it extended horizontally all the way to a depth of 45 meters. This means the groundwater would push the entire pool from below. This force is also known as buoyancy force. The engineers had already carefully calculated the overall effect of this substantial force acting directly on the water to be filled inside the swimming pool structure. And this calculation was made considering the pool's depth of 45 meters. But if the depth of the pool, if the height is increased by an additional 15 meters, then obviously the buoyancy force will also increase further, and it is possible that the pool's capacity expands, would rise above the ground along with the entire diaphragm wall. Due to this issue, the entire construction work had come to a halt. It was extremely crucial to urgently find an effective solution to this challenging problem in the shortest possible time frame. After conducting comprehensive and detailed research, a successful solution was eventually discovered. Firstly, there will be an extra 15 meters of excavation in the tunnel, but its diameter will be about half the original 45 meters. This means that the surface area subjected to the buoyancy force will be consequently reduced, thereby decreasing its overall effectiveness within the system. Secondly, an underreaming base will be constructed beneath the tunnel. Underreaming base is a technique in which beneath the structure's foundation, an anchor-like device is driven into the ground, similar to how an anchor holds an entire ship in place. Similarly, underreaming pulls the entire structure with the ground. In this way, Deep Dive Dubai's depth was extended from 45 meters to... They extended the project to 60 meters in length, making it eligible for inclusion in the Guinness Book once again. But the issues were still unresolved as the days passed, and the 60-meter tunnel's construction was still significantly delayed by several factors, fraught with danger, because cancelling the buoyancy force was only possible with the water present inside the pool. If the structure is kept empty and unoccupied for an extended duration of time, the entire structure could gradually lift due to the influence of underlying groundwater. Now it was time to fill it with 14 million litres of water, but the issue was that Dubai's water supply authority can provide only a very limited amount of water. And if the water was filled at this speed, it could take 3 months to fill the pool, completing it by the deadline. In order to effectively expedite the ongoing work, more than 100 reliable water tankers were also promptly ordered alongside the continuous supply provided by the Dubai Water Authority. You can estimate the grand scale of deep dive by taking into account the fact that, despite all the challenges encountered, it still required a full month to successfully fill the pool. Let us inform you here that before filling with water, the theme of a submerged city was created inside it, and later water was added. Even after filling the water, many new challenges had to be faced, such as some materials starting to corrode and certain items experiencing unexpected failures. After filling the container with water, it began to float unexpectedly, so the workers meticulously drilled precise holes into these items and carefully added extra weight to ensure that they wouldn't float away. After the final finishing touches were completed, the first deep dive event was exclusively open to special guests in 2021 and then made available to the general public in 2022. The expenses incurred for bringing the deep dive program to Dubai are still being fully covered by the Dubai government because in their view it represents a priceless and invaluable project for the region. What is your opinion about this? Please let me know in the comment section. I hope you all will like and share this video. See you in the next spectacular video.